Well, hiya, BookTube. Bill Ruttenberg here with the Ruttenberg Library. Wanted to bring you a mail haul this morning. Over the last 3 or 4 weeks here at the Ruttenberg Library, we've brought several new titles into the library, some of them new, some of them old. And today's list of books are going to be, just books we've gotten in the mail, and then the next video or two will be books I found at the bookstore. And so, without further ado, here we go. This is going to be a mail haul. So the first three books that I'm going to show you here, these are ones that I literally just got yesterday. And I don't even know if I should really count it as a mail haul, but we have a local bookstore here in town, and she doesn't always carry, the titles that I'm looking for, but she orders them in for me. There's never a problem with ordering them in for me. And so these all came in the mail to her, and I went and picked them up. And, I want to support my local bookstore as much as possible. And so I'm going to include them in the old mail haul here. So the first book, and actually all three of these are by Agatha Christie, because I've been trying to, continue to build my collection of Agatha Christie, and I'm trying to read the complete works of Agatha Christie. So this first one is The Secret of Chimneys. And so this was a nice copy. I got this, it's the Introducing Superintendent Battle. And I've never read any of that series. So this will be a new one for me. This is from Warbler Classics. Excuse me. And let's see here. It's a 2021 edition, and this book here was originally published clear back in 1925. So looking forward to getting into a new series by Agatha Christie, and I know on my list of Christie books as I go, in order that they were published, this is one of the next ones up. So I'm excited to have that. All right, and then the next one I got was The Man in the Brown Suit, and it's another one of those by the Vintage Mystery Classics. I just love these covers. These are absolutely awesome. I've got all of the vintage classic Agatha Christie's. I've got all of them from this era. This with the covers looking like this. I've got all of them. I think except one. I think The Murder of Roger Ackroyd, I think, because I have that in a different copy and I didn't want doubles. I think maybe someday I'll upgrade and try to make them all match, but for right now I'm not going to get that one just because of this. But there's also a new one coming out next year in, I think, January, and it's going to be one of the next ones I need in one of the series I'm reading by Agatha Christie. But I'm going to wait for it because it looks to be a really neat cover as well. These also tend to be cheaper, these copies. I really like them. I think they're solidly made, and I love the covers. But these usually run anywhere from $10 to $12, right in there. And these other covers, like this next one from William Moreau, these are like $16 books. And so I like both of them. I think they're both well made, but obviously I don't want to pay as much if I can get away with that. But The Man in the Brown Suit, this was, like I said, a vintage books, and it was published in 2020, and it doesn't have, I thought maybe it'd have the original date, but it was an early one. I know that. It's one of the early ones. Thoroughly enjoying these Agatha Christie books. This is, let's see, in Agatha Christie's The Man in the Brown Suit, a spirited young woman plays amateur sleuth aboard a luxury cruise ship to South Africa. After young Anne Bedingfeld witnesses an accidental death in a London tube station and notes the bizarre behavior of a man in a brown suit who flees the scene, she becomes convinced that foul play is at work. A woman is found murdered the next day, but the police show no interest in Anne's theory that the two incidents are connected. Spurred by a cryptic note dropped by the man in the brown, Anne impulsively uses all her savings to book passage on a ship heading to Cape Town. On the voyage, she finds herself at the center of high-stakes game involving stolen diamonds, high society idlers, a mysteriously attractive young man, and a master criminal and his double-crossing minions. So, sounds like it's going to be a fun one, just like Agatha Christie's always are. And then the last one is A Pocket Full of Rye. And I just got one chapter read in it this morning, super short chapter. But this is the next in the Miss Marple series. And I've been reading these along with Peg and Martine over at the History Shelf. They've been reading one Marple a month, and I've been trying to follow along. Well, I finally got my copy in the mail, so I'll get this read. It's fairly short. Let's see, 239 pages. And so I'll get this read in the next few days and get caught up to them for the reading event. And it says, Rex Fortescue, king of a financial empire, was sipping tea in his counting house when he suffered an agonizing and sudden death. On later inspection, the pockets of the deceased were found to contain traces of cereals. Yet it was the incident in the parlor which confirmed Miss Marple's suspicion that she was looking at a case of crime by rhyme. So that'll be fun. The next book in this big old stack, and the rest of these are nonfiction books. The next one in the stack is from John David at his channel by the same name. And he did a giveaway on his channel of this book it's from Princeton Press, and it's by Karl Schlogel, and it's The Soviet Century, Archaeology of a Lost World. And I am super happy to have this. I teach about Soviet Union in my classes, and wow, look at that. That's going to have a lot of information in it. This book is 906 pages long. So this is a chunky monkey. It's going to take a while to get through, but it's a brand new one out by Princeton Press. Let's see, is it this year? 2023. And so Princeton's been trying to get this book out to the public so that they could, so people could see this and take part in reading this. And I am just really looking forward to this. And I thank John David for, doing that giveaway and allowing me to get a copy. I think he had 2 copies of it. And so he was doing a giveaway. And I just really appreciate that. Thank you, John. I'm ever thankful for that. So, next book, and I started this one this morning also. This is for Historathon 2023, and it's also from Princeton University Press. And this is Ancient Africa, A Global History to 300 CE by Christopher Ehret. And I've talked about this in 1 or 2 other videos because I've had it on my Friday reads, like my books to be read. And it's a new one out, 2023, from Princeton, and it is going to talk about ancient Africa and how it links into global history. Africa sometimes gets overlooked after the initial, after the initial migration of man. Africa often gets overlooked, and so I think this is going to really tie that in and say, hey, we need to really re-examine Africa and come back and look at that. So I read the first chapter in that this morning, and it seems like it's going to be a good one. It's super short. It won't take me very long. But this, I believe, is my last book for the first quarter of Historathon 2023. I finished this later in the week, and I'll try to do maybe a wrap-up from the first quarter because I am way behind on videos involving Historathon, because I still haven't even done my pile of possibilities for the second quarter, even though we're almost a month through the second quarter. So anyway, glad to have this. Thank you to Princeton University Press for sending that to me. If you're looking for some stuff on Africa, maybe try to check that out. The next one is also a Princeton University Press book that they sent me in the mail. And this book will be a third quarter Historathon 2023 read, and it's America Before 1787, The Unraveling of a Colonial Regime by John Elster. And super excited to have this. This will go really well with my studies for my classroom. I teach about the early colonies. I teach about going into the Revolution and the creation of the American government, and it's one of my favorite things to learn about. It's if you follow the channel, Civil War is my baby. Civil War is what I probably read the most of. Civil War and Abraham Lincoln. But if I had a number two, that would probably be the colonial times and going into the American Revolution. I absolutely love that stuff, and so I find it fascinating. And so I was really happy when Princeton University Press sent me this book. It's a brand new book for 2023, brand new. And let me read this one to you because it does sound pretty interesting. It says, with America Before 1787, John Elster offers the second volume of a projected trilogy that examines the emergence of constitutional politics in France and America. Here he explores the increasingly uneasy relations between Britain and its American colonies and the social movements through which the 13 colonies overcame their seemingly deep internal antagonisms. Elster documents the importance of the radical uncertainty about their opponents that characterized both British and American elites and reveals the often neglected force of enthusiasm and of emotions more generally in shaping beliefs and in motivating actions. He provides the first detailed examinations of divide and rule as a strategy used on both sides of the Atlantic and on the rise and fall of a collective action movements among the Americans. Elster also explains how the gradual undermining in America of the British imperial system took its toll on transatlantic relations and describes how state governments in the American Confederation made crucial institutional decisions that informed and constrained the making of the Constitution. Drawing on a wide range of historical sources and on theories of modern social science, Elster brings together two fields of scholarship in innovative and original ways. The result is a unique synthesis that yields new insights into some of the most important events in modern history. So I'm really looking forward to that. Again, thank you to Princeton University Press for sending this. I know they've been trying to push their books for the big Historathon 2023 reading event, and so here you go, BookTube. Go check out these books from Princeton University Press. So there's those two, and then let me show you that Soviet Century one more time because it's a chunky monkey. It's something you're going to want to get your hands on. So those are my books from Princeton. I'm, like I said, pretty excited about those. But I also got some books in the mail from my friend Todd at Todd's BookTube, and let me show you what he sent me. He sent me some baseball stuff. Super excited about these. He knows that A, I love baseball, and B, I created this. It's a personal reading event. If anybody wants to join in, feel free. But I called it my opening day project. And so my idea was, I love baseball. I buy books on baseball players all the time, whether they're biographies or just straight up histories of teams, stuff like that. And so it's been my goal this summer. I've been collecting them and maybe not reading them as fast as I'm collecting them. So I wanted to start reading them. And so I made this reading initiative called the Opening Day Project. And my plan is to read one baseball book a month all through baseball season. So by the end I'll have, 9 of them read, I think. So it started in, let's see, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. Oh, excuse me, 8 of them. I'll have at least 8 of them, if not more, read by the end of baseball season. And so I've already read my biography on Mariano Rivera, and I am currently reading a book on the history of baseball and the Civil War and how they tie together. But with all of this in mind, Todd sent me these books. This one's called How a Cast of Cranks, Rogues, and Boneheads and Magnets Created the Greatest Year in Baseball History, Crazy '08. And it's talking 1908. So this is a history going back quite a ways. Very excited about this. Sent this and made my appetite for reading baseball go crazy. So this is from HarperCollins and Smithsonian Books, and it is, let's see, it says it was first published in 2007. So very excited about this. Let me read the inside cover. This might be something you want to go check out. So it says, from the perspective of 2007, the unintentional irony of chance's boast is manifest. These days, the question is, when will the Cubs ever win a game they have to have? In October 1908, though no one would have laughed, the Cubs were, without doubt, baseball's greatest team, the first dynasty of the 20th century. Crazy '08 recounts the 1908 season, the year when peerless leader Frank Chance's men went toe-to-toe with John McGraw and Christy Mathewson's New York Giants and Honus Wagner's Pittsburgh Pirates in the greatest pennant race the National League has ever seen. The American League has its own three-cornered pennant fight, and players like Cy Young, Ty Cobb, Walter Johnson, and the egregiously crooked Hal Chase ensured that the junior circuit had its moments, but it was National League's and the Cubs' year. Crazy '08, however, is not the exciting story of a great season. It is also about the forces that created modern baseball and the America that produced it. In 1908, crooked poles ran Chicago's first ward, and gambling magnates controlled the Yankees. Fans regularly invade the field to do handstands or argue with the umps. Others shoot guns from the rickety grandstands prone to burning. There are anarchists on the loose, racial killings in the town that made Lincoln. On the flimsiest of pretexts, General Abner Doubleday became a symbol of Americanism, and baseball's own anthem, Take Me Out to the Ball Game, is a hit. Picturesque and dramatic, the 1908 is a season in which so many weird and wonderful things happen that it is somehow unsurprising that a hairpiece, a swarm of gnats, a sudden bout of lumbago, and a disaster down in the mines all play a role in its outcome. And sometimes the events are not so wonderful at all. There are several deaths by baseball, and the shadow of corruption creeps closer to the heart of baseball, the honesty of the game itself. Simply put, 1908 is the year that baseball grew up. Oh, and it was the last time the Cubs won the World Series. Destined to be as memorable as the season it documents, Crazy '08 sets the new standard for what a book about baseball can be. And this is by Kate Murphy. Now, with that being said, obviously it's a little dated. It was written in 2007, so keep that in mind as we talk about the Cubs not winning one since then. It's a little dated, but that's okay, because you can still enjoy some good baseball history. And this thing's got some great, some great photography in the middle, some pictures of stuff going on from the time period. I always love looking at these old baseball photos. So looking forward to that. Thank you to Todd for that. Here's another one. This one really got me excited because it's a history or a biography on a baseball great that if you were to ask kids about this guy's name, none of the kids at school would know this guy's name. But yet he was one of the greatest pitchers of all time. And this is the best team over there, the untold story of Grover Cleveland Alexander and the Great War. So now, obviously, it's not just about baseball, but you know, you got to appreciate the guy. He was one of the greatest pitchers of all time. But as I said, none of the kids would know that. This is by Jim Leake, and it is from the University of Nebraska Press, and it's a 2021 book, so it's fairly new. So let me read the inside cover of this one too, because I know there's a lot of you baseball fans out there, and I think everybody enjoys me bringing these books out and putting them to your attention. So this is Grover Cleveland Alexander was one of the greatest pitchers in baseball history. With 373 career victories during 20 seasons in the major leagues, elected into the National Baseball Hall of Fame in 1938, the right-hander remains a compelling and tragic figure. Pete Alexander's military service during World War I was the demarcation line between the great seasons with the Philadelphia Phillies and his years of struggle and turmoil with the Chicago Cubs and the St. Louis Cardinals after the Great War. Indeed, Alexander's service during World War I has all but been forgotten, even though it dramatically changed his life and his game. Alexander served in the 342nd Field Artillery Regiment, which included big leaguers and star athletes among its officers and men. Naturally, the regiment fielded an outstanding baseball team, but it also faced hard service during the final weeks of the war. After the armistice in November of 1918, the unit undertook occupation duty in Germany. The best team over there examines this crucial period closely, where Alexander was stationed, how he was trained, how he withstood the effects of combat and shelling, and how he interacted with his fellow athletes and soldiers, and how the war changed his baseball career, revealing for the first time the little-known details of this critical stage in the legendary pitcher's life and career. He could truly understand Alexander and his enduring appeal to baseball fans without also understanding his life as a gunner and soldier. Yeah, so looking forward to that again. That's that's going to be good. It's got, again, some really good photography. It's going to have some World War I stuff in there, obviously, because it's talking about the impact of World War I on his career. It's got some, pictures of some of the old athletes from the time period. So this is going to be good stuff. That'll keep me busy this summer. And then the last book that Todd had sent me, and again, Todd sent these like a long time ago, so I do apologize for not getting the video up, Todd, but I went through a streak there of 2 or 3 weeks without putting a video up, so hope you can forgive me for that, but I do appreciate what you've sent. This last one is How Did Sports Begin? A Look into the Origins of Man at Play. And so this is a little bit older title, but nonetheless still interesting. And this is by R. Brash. It is from David McKay Company Incorporated out of New York, and it is a 1970 book. Now, I don't know that I really need to read the inside flap on this one, because the title kind of tells you everything you need to know, and just the origins of sports. Why do we have it, and how did it get started? So thank you to Todd for that. Thank you for those baseball books. So I'm just really pumped about my future reading here. Let's see if we can do a pyramid. This might be, I'm not going to stack them one at a time because I'll end up dropping everything, but that's a heavy chunk. So there's some reading for the next couple months, and real happy to have this. Just super excited. So BookTube, I hope everybody's doing well. What have you got in the mail lately? Have you gotten any good books in, or have you went just book shopping, book hunting? Here in the next week or so, I have a couple more videos from book hunts over the last few weeks, and I'm going to share those with you. And just thank you for all the new subscribers. Thank you for watching this video, especially if you made it this far. And I hope some of these titles maybe give you some ideas of stuff to read. I know that, like with Agatha Christie, there's a lot of people who are revisiting her works, just watched a video this morning on somebody who is revisiting her works, and she read And Then There Were None, and talking about the excitement of that. And I totally agree. It was a great book, and I've enjoyed pretty much every book that I've read by Agatha Christie. So you can't go wrong with Christie and a whole bunch of history. So anyway, BookTube, thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day. I hope maybe your weather's a little bit more clear than ours. We've been having rain, and which rain isn't bad, but lightning and everything. We've had some thunderstorms. I haven't done the dishes this morning yet because of all of the lightning. But you know, they're going to have to get done here soon, so I probably ought to get to that. But anyway, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. And to those of you who are in track season, happy running. I am in track season right now. Had our first meet earlier in the week, and our girls did really well. We got 3rd out of 11 teams, and we just had a really good showing, and we got a track meet hopefully tomorrow. Hopefully this weather will clear up a little bit, and we'll have a meet tomorrow. So that's my life, reading and track and some school. So hope you're doing well. And until next time, happy reading.